Okay, we are back for video number 4. Yay! I guess we're trying to keep up momentum. So, yay! But hey, since I referenced this in my last video, the disabled and unemployed experience, which, hey, if you're coming across this video randomly, go and watch that. You'll get an idea of more stuff about me here. But I have a story time. I'm going to talk about when I got scammed on Indeed. So, yeah. So, this is going back to 2019 when this happened. And as I stated in the disabled and unemployed experience video, again, I'm interested in factory and warehouse work. I've always been interested in more like behind the scenes type stuff. So, again, on Indeed, was looking for factory and warehouse jobs at the time, and I came across this ad, saying that they wanted factory and warehouse workers. And I got to think of a fake, I don't even think this thing exists anymore. It was a scam anyway, but either way, we'll just call it XYZ Incorporated, right? Right. Okay. So XYZ Incorporated needs, factory and warehouse workers. It's like, okay. It's like, you don't need any job experience. Okay. And then we get to the part in the ad where it's like, we prioritize hiring disabled people. And it's not like it wasn't just like your standard, like, oh, hey, we don't discriminate, equal opportunity, da da da. Like, no, it's just like going on and on. Like, we prioritize hiring disabled people and we want to give them a start to a meaningful career, on and on, 87 fucking paragraphs about this, right? Right. So I'm like, okay, I'll apply, see what this is, because again, where this job was at, it wasn't too far from me. I'm like, okay, they say they'll work with disabled people. So I'm like, okay, so we'll see what but it didn't say like, it said it was production, warehouse work, but it didn't say like what the shift was, didn't say what the pay was. So I'm like, okay, I'll apply. See, what the details are, because I was more worried about it being like a sheltered workshop type of thing where it's like, oh, we can pay disabled people 5 cents an hour and it's legal. Yeah, really, it is. Yeah. Yeah, they're starting to make it where sheltered workshops are starting to go away, which they should. But again, different subject for a different video. So anyway, but like, okay, let me apply, see what this is. I was more thinking, okay, maybe it's like a sheltered workshop thing where they pay you 5 cents an hour. If I talk to them and it turns out to be that, I'll move on, right? Right. So, okay, so apply to the thing, go on about my, day, on Indeed, probably about maybe an hour later, I get an email, saying, oh, you have a message on Indeed. It's like, okay. It's like, oh, hey, I'm from XYZ Incorporated. Can I talk to you on the phone about the job you applied for? I can, today or tomorrow? I'm like, okay. So I message back. I'm like, yeah, I can talk tomorrow. So like, if you want. So it's like, okay. So, here's my phone number. You saw my phone number, type my phone number. You can call me tomorrow. We'll talk. So, okay. So go, tomorrow comes. Dude calls me. We'll give him a name. I don't even actually remember the dude's name because it's been so damn long, but we'll call him Jason. So, oh, I'm Jason from, XYZ Incorporated. And, we saw that you applied to the ad on Indeed. And, so I just wanted to talk to you about the job and all this and ask you some questions. I'm like, okay, cool. Not a problem, right? And again, I was thinking, in my mind, I was thinking that, okay, this is probably going to be like a sheltered workshop thing where they pay you 5 cents an hour. So, okay. So, of course, this first question, like, are you disabled? Or like, yeah, I'm blind. I've been blind since birth. It's like, are you on Social Security? Like, yeah, been on Social Security since I was a little kid. And again, my mind is still thinking, okay, sheltered workshop. It's a sheltered workshop, where they pay you 5 cents an hour. So I'm like, okay, let me find a way to be like, oh, thanks for your time. I'm not interested. Right. Right. It's like, have you ever been in the Ticket to Work program for Social Security? I'm like, no. So I'm like, okay. So you've never had an employment network or worked with State VR? I'm like, I mean, at that time, I had, worked with state services for the blind really briefly. Mostly but my dad was being an asshole and trying to make me do independent living shit, but I didn't want to do it. So yeah, this is when I had quit high school, but again, another video for another time. But either way, so like, no, I'm like, that was the only involvement I ever had with state services, was, independent living stuff when my dad was trying to make me do. But that was like, at that point, it would have been, damn near 15 years ago. And so it's like, oh, well, if you had this job, you would have to join the Ticket to Work program. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, I don't mind. So to do that, like, okay. So, I'm like, so it's like, okay, well, if you're okay with joining the Ticket to Work program, all you have to do is sign the paper to make us your employment network. And for not disabled people, in a Ticket to Work program, an employment network or state VR, they go through Social Security and they're supposed to help you get a job. They get paid by Social Security to help disabled people get jobs. So it's like, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm like, okay, fine. Well, what's the, so I'm like, okay, well, do I have to do anything else? Like, oh, you have to go take a drug test, but otherwise, that's it. We'll give you a job. We'll tell you, when you start and where the thing is, after you take the drug test. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay. So it emails me over the PDF to sign. And I'm like, saying that, XYZ Incorporated is my employment network, the Ticket to Work program, and whatever. And so I'm like, okay. So sign it. I'm like, okay, sign it. Okay, here's where you got to go to take a drug test. Tell them that you're there. For XYZ Incorporated, and and you should just do it within the next day or two. I'm like, okay, fine. Go take the drug test. I'm clean. Not a problem for me. So he get the drug test results back. Get a call the next Monday, saying, okay, guess what? We found you a job. It is that factory in Fridley that we're referring to in the ad. You start the next Monday. I'm like, okay, so do I need anything? Because do I need steel toe boots? Do I need to bring anything? Whatever. It's like, no, you don't need to bring anything, but just fill out the stuff with all your information, and you just show up Monday, and I'll email you the address when I email the stuff that you got to sign, to get paid. Right. Like, okay. So again, get the thing sent over to sign. Okay, to get paid and all that. All the stuff that you got to give them when you're supposed to get paid from a job. Get the address to the place, and the place, was a legitimate, place for the address and all that. So, address and an actual legitimate company up here that I actually had seen ads for on Indeed, going to, for direct hire ads. But I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Maybe, I don't know if XYZ Incorporated has anything to do with, whatever print company, but, but okay, fine, whatever. So, do I need to do sign stuff to get paid? Okay. Had to break the news to my parents at the time. It's like, hey, I got a job and I start on Monday. And at this time, my mom was like, fine, okay, whatever. My dad, he was alive at the time. He's dead now. But he had only been home from a couple months after having a stroke. So it took him a while to understand what I was trying to do. So it's like, I have a job. It's like, it's supposed to be like packing stuff in a warehouse. And somehow he got the idea that I was actually working in a meat packing house. I'm like, what? Okay. The mind is a funny thing. Anyway. But either way, broke news to my parents. Okay. Hey, I got this job. So I start on Monday, so cool. So Monday comes, I, got the stuff, okay, here's what the company is. I'm working first shift, show up, so, okay. So show up, and there's God, probably a big, another huge group of people, probably 30 other people all in the lobby of this place at 5 a.m, because our shift was supposed to start at 6. So it's okay. So it's so Jason, the dude from XYZ Incorporated that I talked to on the phone, was there. It's oh, you must be, Reva. And okay, yeah, we have a bunch of people starting today. Y'all have to do a quick meeting at the beginning of your shift with the people from the company. And then, and then you'll start. It's like, okay. So we go into this meeting because again, it's me and like 30 other people. And it's the person from whatever print company. It sounds like, okay. It's like, oh, welcome to whatever print company. We're so happy to have all you workers on this temporary assignment, through whatever print company, so we'll be sure to, treat you with respect, whatever, going through your standard, HR speak, all right, we got to show you a quick safety video and then, you could start working. And I'm like, wait, temp workers? Huh? I'm like, but I thought I was getting a full-time permanent job, huh? I'm like, okay, like, did they just put us in with temp people? What is going on, right? Because again, going back to the document I had to sign, I'm not, there was nothing about, there's a temporary assignment. I'm like, so, okay. So anyway, so I'm like, okay. So again, there was another lady that was supposed to be watching over us that we also met. Again, I don't even remember her name. We'll call her Chelsea. And it's like, and she was the person that we were supposed to go to, when we were on the production floor. And so it's like, okay, she's going to be watching you, whatever. It's like, okay. So it's like, okay, hey, I gotta see this person we'll talk to. Like, okay, is this a temp job? Yeah, it's a temp job. I'm like, well, how long is this supposed to go for? Like, cause even at that time, I knew like, sometimes with temp jobs, it's temp to hire. So I'm like, is it temp to hire? It's like, oh no, it's 5 weeks. 5 weeks? I wouldn't have signed up for this if it was going to be 5 weeks. I mean, I don't mind the money, but I was under the impression of, okay, I'm getting a permanent, full-time, long-term job. Or it's like, okay. So I'm just like, right. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's like, okay, fine. I guess I'm here for 5 weeks. I don't care. So either way, so going back to the thing, they show us the safety video we got to watch, which is real quick. Basically, don't get run over by a forklift. Always look the forklift driver in the eyes. Obviously, I can't see that, but obviously I can hear the forklift coming, so not a problem. It's like, okay. And plus, it wasn't even relevant because all of us, once we actually went out on the production floor, we could only be in this one area. Like, we couldn't go, in whatever print company. Like, we couldn't be on the part that actually did the printing with the big machines and presses and all that. So we were in, like, one area, and it was basically packaging stuff and putting stuff together. So I'm like, okay. And so a majority of the people, it's like this big group, and they are around a table, and it's stacked high with like a bunch of like brochures and envelopes and stuff like that. And then me and this other dude who was an amputee because he was in a wheelchair, that he had one leg. It's like, oh, well, you two will put you, over here on the other side. We're not going to put both of y'all with the big group. It's like, okay. So basically, the first part of this day, basically, okay, I'm like tearing down and making boxes. Okay, fine. Tear down boxes, make boxes. Tear down boxes, make boxes. And then, and then the other amputee dude, he was tearing down and making boxes. So it's me and him in this corner. It's like, did you apply? So I start talking, because again, this is a long day. So I'm like, did you apply on Indeed for this too? He's like, yeah, that Jason dude, called me, was asking, if I was disabled and was on Social Security, if I ever been in the Ticket to Work program and all this, that, and the other. So it's like, okay. I'm like, I did too. He's like, yeah, it's like, I didn't realize this was a temp job. I'm like, I didn't either. He's like, yeah, I mean, I wasn't exactly trying for temporary work, but I mean, I guess fine, whatever. I'll take the like $16 an hour or whatever it is. Like, okay. I guess I'll take the money, but yeah, I wasn't looking for a temp job either. So it's just like, okay. So again, me and the amputee guy, I don't want to call him amputee guy. We'll give him a name. We'll give it Brad. We'll call the amputee guy Brad. So it's like, so again, me and Brad, like, they kept moving us around to do different things. Okay, you're done with boxes. We're going to put you on stapling brochures. So it's like these big brochures and we're on this like stapling machine. And it's like, oh, it's hard. Because they were like big and thick and it was hard to like get the actual whole brochure into the machine to get it to staple. It was annoying. And that lasted 2 hours. I'm about to say, Brad was having a harder time than I was because like he couldn't exactly push down all the way. So it's like, so it's like, okay. So it's like, so do that for like 2 hours. So it's like, okay. I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't mind repetitive work, but I also should mention, because it was like XYZ print company, we couldn't have our phones, we couldn't listen to music. And like I said, we weren't even on like the main production floor. We were just in this one little area that we couldn't leave. So it's like, okay. So we do the stapling of the brochures for like, 2 hours. So it's like, okay, hey, we're going to move you on to binding or whatever. It's like, okay. So I get put on this, I don't know what these actual machines are called, but so it was like spiral notebook type things. And like you start the wire and then you run it through the machine and it's supposed to make the wire go through all the holes. And oh my God, it was terrible. It's like, I don't know if I was doing it wrong or the wire was bad quality, but every time I tried to do it, the wire kept breaking. So it's like, so eventually I'm like, so I'm trying to get the attention of like Chelsea. I'm like, this isn't working. Every time I try to do it, the wires keep breaking. Okay, we'll put you on large binding or whatever. It's like, okay. So yay, it was bigger, like spiral bound notebook type things, but the bigger ones you had to do by hand. Fun, which was a pain in the ass, and it hurt and it was hard and it was difficult and just either way. So anyway, do that for a couple more hours. So it's like, okay. So eventually we get to lunch. So I'm like going, so it's like, okay. So go to the lunchroom, eventually, grab my phone. I also had taken a selfie, when we went on break, and I'd posted because, post like, oh yeah, I got a job, whatever, which I shouldn't have, because I'm thinking, okay, well maybe, it's like, okay, it's cool. That was cool that I got a job, whatever, it's like, even if it's 5 weeks, whatever, so who knows, maybe, maybe they're just saying like, oh, because sometimes that does happen with temporary assignments that it's like, okay, hey, we'll tell people we're not keeping people on, but hey, they might change their mind if you do a good job. And again, I'm doing everything I need to do, not a problem, whatever. Right. So it's like, and yeah, I really shouldn't have taken a picture of myself, be like, oh, I got a job and I'm so proud of myself and whatever. And people are, reacting, because it went to my Facebook and Instagram and all that too. And some people were reacting like, oh, congratulations and and all this, that, and the other. And like, people that I follow from like bands that I like that followed me back. It's like, oh, we're proud, he commented too. And I'm like, oh, it's like, okay, But again, I had no reason to think that, okay, I'm doing anything wrong, doing what I need to do, cool, right, So, come back from break. It's like, okay, we have more boxes for you to do. All right, so me and Brad ain't going to be together. No, Brad is still on in binding. You're going to do boxes. I'm like, okay, do more boxes. All right. Keep doing the boxes. So tear down boxes, make boxes, tear down boxes, make boxes, tear down boxes, make boxes. Pretty much did that for the rest of the day. And again, I'm in one spot. I'm not walking around. I don't have to do any, I don't have to, again, like I said, we can't even go on the production floor. I'm nowhere near the big group that's actually putting stuff, into envelopes or whatever that's on the other side of the room. I'm just in the corner, making boxes, breaking down boxes, making boxes, breaking down boxes. So that was, the rest of my day, right? So it's like, all right, so do that for the rest of the day. So 2:30 comes, because this is supposed to be 6 to 2:30. So, well, 2:30, 2:20, whatever you want to call it, but the end of the day comes. So it's like, all right, so obviously I take an Ubers up there, an Uber up there. So after I had to get my Uber home and all that. So it's like, and I was, so I'm like, okay. And all of a sudden, again, the Jason guy from XYZ Incorporated. It's like, hey, Reaver, I need to talk to you. Come here. Like, okay. I'm like, Yeah, like, okay, what you need? He's like, don't come back tomorrow. Wait, don't come back tomorrow. Why? Did I do something wrong? No, well, we don't think it's safe for you here because of all the forklifts driving around. And so, so don't come back tomorrow. Wait, what? But I mean, wait, forklifts, like, we're nowhere near the production floor. Like, and I just sat in one place most of the day. Like, are you sure you don't want me to come back tomorrow? I don't, like, yeah, don't come back tomorrow. Like, I mean, it's like, are you sure I didn't do anything wrong? Oh no, you're a good worker and all this, but hey, since I'm your employment network, I'll get you another factory job. Like, oh, okay. Any idea of how long that might take? Oh, I'll probably have you something by next week. Well, will I still get paid for this day that I worked? Oh yeah. Well, make sure that you get paid, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm like, you're sure you don't want me to come in tomorrow, right? He's like, no, don't come in. I'm like, okay. So it's like, okay. I'm like, forklifts. I'm like, I was just like confused. Like, okay, I did everything I need to do. And like, I didn't even like get up and walk anywhere. I just was like, hey, what I need to do next? What I need to do next? What I need to do next? So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Maybe they had too many people or something. I don't know. But hey, maybe, so anyway, so like I said, I took an Uber there. So I'm waiting for my Uber to go home. And Chelsea, the lady that was supposed to be the supervisor for, the watch out over like the temp people. And she was over at the big table, with the people, the big group that was putting the stuff in envelopes and all that. And so she's like, oh, I'll see you tomorrow, Reva. I'm like, no, you won't. Jason told me not to come back tomorrow. Oh, really? He's like, yeah, he told me not to come back tomorrow. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I had no idea. I'm like, he's like, well, she was the person I was going to handle everybody's like time cards. He's like, well, I'll make sure your time card gets turned in so you can get paid. Yeah, he told me that I'll get paid for the day I worked. He's like, yeah, but I'll make sure your time card gets turned in. Like, okay, so whatever. So come back home. I have to tell my parents, albeit it took a minute to explain to my dad, I'm not working now. They told me not to come in. And, I'm like, and I was like, oh, how'd it go? Like, they fired me. I didn't get fired. I'm like, oh, no, they told me not to come back because of forklifts, which is kind of weird. I mean, I wasn't, walking around anywhere. So I'm confused, but fine, whatever. But the person says they'll find me another job. So I'm like, he's like, okay. Like, so it's like, okay, whatever. So time passes. So week goes by. All right. Another week goes by. Haven't heard anything from Jason from XYZ in and I haven't seen a paycheck either. So it's like, okay, it's now been 2 weeks since that first day, and only day. It's like, okay, so let me call, leave a message for the Jason guy at XYZ Incorporated. Hey, it's Reva. Like, hey, you told me I was going to get paid for that one day. Hey, it's now 2 weeks later. When am I going to get paid for the one day? Have you found me anything other job to do? Hey, I don't really want a temporary job. I want, if it is a temporary job, can it be, temp to hire, so it's like, so I'm like, okay, so leave a message, go away. Another week goes by. Haven't heard anything back from Jason from XIZ. So I'm like, okay, I need to figure out about what's going on with, getting paid. I mean, okay, it only would have been like $120 for one day, but I mean, I worked. I did what I was supposed to do. I spent money on Ubers to get back and forth. Like, I want my damn money. So I also had the number for Chelsea, the supervisor lady that was like watching over the people. So I call her. She actually picks up. And I'm like, oh, hey, Chelsea, this is Reva, the blind lady that you talked to a couple weeks ago, and who they told not to come back tomorrow. Hey, I still haven't gotten paid, and I know they told me that you were handling the time cards. Did you turn in my card so I can get paid? He's like, yeah, I did. I'll check on it. This is your cell phone, right? I'm like, yeah, this is my cell phone. It's like, I'll check on it and I'll give you a call and, but I know I turned in your car, so you should have gotten paid by now. So I'm like, okay. So, but she's like, okay, but I did turn in your card, but I'll make sure you get paid and I'll give you a call back. I'm like, all right. So, time keeps going by again. 2 weeks. Still nothing. So I'm like, let me try to call Jason from XYZ Incorporated. Call. Number's not in service. Like, okay. Try to call Chelsea. That number's not in service. Okay. And I don't have a dime from the day I worked. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? like, okay, I just got ghosted. What? So just like, so I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I'm like, let me look. So I'm like, okay, let me see if I can, have the email. So I'm going to try to email like, hey, kind of like, okay, maybe, stuff happens sometimes, maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody didn't pay their bill or whatever, cell phone. So let me email, cause I had to email Jason's email from XYZ Incorporated. Hey, I just tried calling you and said your phone's out of service, but hey, I talked to Chelsea a couple weeks ago. She said she turned in my time card and I'm still waiting to get paid for the one day I worked. What's going on? And, so, hey, you could, give me an update about what's going on. And are you going to find me another job through, Ticket to Work, since y'all are supposed to be my employment network? If you can, get back to me, it'd be great. Right? Send the email. So I'm like, another couple weeks passes. Still, absolutely nothing. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay. I'm going to start looking like, okay, something is fucking weird. I still haven't gotten paid. This dude hasn't called me back about either getting me another job. Chelsea hasn't called me back about getting me paid. So I'm like, okay, I need to start actually looking to see what the fuck is going on. So I'm so yay, Google. About how, okay, so like, Ticket to Program, So I start looking on the Social Security website about stuff about Ticket to Work program. And I don't even see XYZ Incorporated in the list of employment networks when I start looking up employment networks and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, something's going on. I mean, he had me sign the, thing saying that XYZ Incorporated was my employment network. And I did get a letter from Social Security saying that, oh, XYZ Incorporated is your employment network. And da-da-da. So I'm like, okay, something is going on. They're not even on the website. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, let me actually call Social Security. So I'm like, hey, I, call Social Security, sit on hold for the dumb amount of time you got to be on hold for Social Security. And so it's like, finally get through. It's like, hey, I, was in the Ticket to Work program and I signed XYZ Incorporated to be my employment network. And I worked one day. They sent me home because they said, oh, there are forklifts and we don't want you here. And, but they were saying, oh, this is supposed to be for, people that are disabled. And but I haven't gotten paid for the one day I worked. I tried calling the numbers of the people that I talked to. They're not, they're out of service. It's like, oh, it's like something's going on. So it's like, oh, it's like, ma'am, I think this is somebody scammed you. I'm like, well, I mean, I got the letter saying that XYZ Incorporated was my EN. I looked on the website because they do have a list of employment networks on the Social Security website. They're not there. It's like, so it's like, I don't know what's going on with that, but if you want to unassign them, you can. I'm like, well, I'm going to unassign it because, nothing's happening. At this point, it's going on 2 months. So I'm like, I haven't got paid. This dude hasn't called me back. And so I was like, so I'm like, well, okay, so I'm like, let me unassign him. I'm like, normally you're, in the dude said, well, normally you're supposed to inform the network. I'm like, well, like I said, the contact information that I have, the email, nothing, phone, nothing. So it's like, okay, well, you could just go through the unassignment process. And I think you got scammed, ma'am. I'm like, yeah, I'm starting to think I did too. So I'm just like, so yeah, it's obviously now 2026. Yay, Happy New Year. Yeah, I never got paid for that at all. I worked for an entire day. And again, it feels kind of dumb to get upset about it. I mean, it only would have been like $120 or whatever. But I mean, I worked for that. I paid money to get Ubers up there. It's just like, at that time, hey, that could have been, that could have paid my phone bill. That could have been, 2 concerts for me, albeit nowadays it'd be 1. But either way, that's, I did what I was supposed to do. So it's just like, so yeah. But that was I got scammed on Indeed. But what I will say, obviously, there are so many different job scams because now if I apply to stuff on Indeed, immediately I'm looking up the company, I'm looking at the website, I'm looking at their social media, I'm reading reviews on Indeed and Glassdoor, anywhere I can find them, make sure the stuff is, real and all that. But obviously, obviously this is a more disabled focused one, which the one thing I probably should say, if anybody tells you, if you're on Social Security, that you have to be in the Ticket to Work program to work, you do not. It is voluntary. You do not, because actually the job I actually did end up getting in 22, that I talked about in my disabled and unemployed video, that, I got that job on my own. State, vocational services and, Ticket to Work had nothing to do with that. I got that completely on my own, did an interview like anybody else, applied like anybody else. So you do not have to be in the Ticket to Work program. So if anybody tells you that, they're lying. And then obviously the other obvious signs of scam, if the information is too vague, if they're really trying to push you through stuff real quickly, it sounds too good to be true. So you're not asking, they're not really letting you ask questions, all that type of stuff. 'Cause that's the other thing, going back to the Ticket to Work program. If you do decide to be in the Ticket to Work program, you have every right to compare employment networks. There is no set amount of time that you have. And you could also have the right to ask for references. If you're talking to an employment network and be like, hey, I want to talk to another person that's actually gone through the program about their experience, they should absolutely 1000% be open for you to do that. If they're not going to do that, run. It's a scam. So yeah, because like I said, employment networks get paid by Social Security to get disabled people jobs. I think this dude was running a scam on Social Security. Because it's like, wait, I'm disabled. I told you I was blind. That's literally the first thing I told you when we talked on the phone. And you'll be like, oh my God, there are forklifts, go home. Which is fucking ridiculous. And yeah, extra fuck you. I worked a factory job for a year where there were forklifts driving around the production floor. I didn't get run over by a forklift or crushed by a pallet. So yeah, fuck you. I hope karma gets that motherfucker. Really? You're going to scam disabled people? What the fuck? Anyway. So yeah, I'm still mad. But just really, but really, definitely do research, ask questions, don't let people rush you or pressure you. Obviously, if something's supposed to be, through an employment network, it's the rule of Social Security. Stuff has to be accessible, whether it's technical stuff or environments. But that's why I got scammed on Indeed. So yeah, but like I said, I learned my lesson. I do research now. When I apply to stuff, like I said, I'm not in the Ticket to Work program. I don't need that. And especially now, I really don't need that because, I have actual job experience. It's not a problem. It's something that I don't really need to do as far as, them helping me. Again, it could be debated if the Ticket to Work program actually helps people. But again, another discussion for another video. But either way. But yeah, that is my story time. I hope y'all enjoyed it. So, hey, if y'all want, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, y'all can tell me about y'all job scams if you've been scammed on Indeed too. I'd be curious if anybody, I know the people at that, that scam ass one day job I had, they saw the ad on Indeed, but I kind of wonder if that scam was running any other places. So yeah, if anybody else that was disabled had the same scam happen to them, just wondering. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. if anybody's wondering if I reported them to Social Security, like filed an actual report. No, I did not. Like I said, I talked to the person on the phone, but I never like reported them. I'm just like, I am moving on in my life and I had other stuff to do. As I mentioned, my dad had a stroke at the time. And so I ended up getting paid to take care of him after that, albeit by force. But again, another video for another time. But yeah, so if you enjoyed my I got scammed on Indeed story time, like, comment, subscribe, tell me about your experiences below, or tell me I'm fucking stupid. I now know that I was really dumb. And so, yeah. But anyway, I'm going to be quiet now. So, bye.